Hello. This video is made possible by the stack of textbooks that are currently propping up my phone, which I am recording this video from. Anyways, so yeah, I wanted to talk about like my favorite metaphor for explaining trigger warnings to people. And it's not only conservative people that don't understand and complain about trigger warnings, but like a lot of them are conservative. But this metaphor should work for anyone. So yeah, try it on your relatives. Maybe. If you do try it on your relatives, tell me how it goes. Okay, with that being said, we're actually going to have a trigger warning for this video. And that is going to be non-graphic mention of suicide. It is used as an example of what might trigger somebody. So here's the metaphor. You know, you're talking to whoever, and they're like, oh, trigger warnings are so stupid. You know, people need to know that the real world isn't going to coddle them and, you know, bends to their comfort level, that kind of stuff. I'm sure you've heard it before. So what I say is, okay, imagine you're a doctor, right? And a patient comes to you and they're like, doctor, I am allergic to peanuts. Or, you know, nuts, whatever. They say, like just this, like touching peanut dust could put me into an anaphylactic reaction. And anaphylaxis, if untreated, can be very deadly. So like, yeah, I have this horrible allergy to peanuts. I cannot be around peanuts, or at the very least, I will have a very bad time and a hospital trip. Now, you as the doctor, would you say you can't expect everyone to keep peanuts away from you in the real world? You're gonna have to deal with it eventually. You should just like man up and go eat some peanuts. As a matter of fact, I have a peanut butter jelly sandwich in my pocket right now. Why would you have a peanut butter and jelly sandwich in your pocket? No clue. Okay, so the bathroom fan is now on, so the audio might sound a little different. So then the doctor goes, you know what? I actually packed a peanut butter and jelly sandwich for lunch. They go pull out the peanut butter and jelly sandwich and they like shove it in the person's face. And they're like, yeah, what are you gonna do about it? This has peanuts in it. Huh? What are you gonna do? It would be so messed up to do that. It would be so messed up to look at someone who is deathly allergic to peanuts. Maybe not deathly, even just severely allergic to peanuts. To look them in the eye and say, I think you should go eat peanuts. I think you're a coward because you're not eating peanuts. Why don't you go try some? Why don't you try some right now and then shove peanuts in their face when they've already made it clear that peanuts equals anaphylaxis equals not a good time. You know, you wouldn't do that. So then we switch back over to a more like real life metaphor where this is where the trigger warning will come in. You have somebody and they say, hey, I would like warning, I would like a trigger warning for things that talk about suicide. And you know, maybe they have a backstory. Maybe like, oh, a couple of years ago was in a really dark place and I was contemplating suicide, and even though I'm in, you know, a healthier place now, it's still not something I can like casually talk about or casually listen to. Maybe they have a friend or a relative who died by suicide and it's a very sensitive topic to them. Maybe you don't know why this is a trigger to them. You don't know their backstory or their trauma. You shouldn't need to know. And this is where people start saying, like, oh, you're gonna have to get used to it, like the real world's not gonna just cater towards your needs just because you can't handle something. But if we think about the peanut allergy, they can't handle it. And they are being very clear about their boundaries and saying, I know I can't handle it, so I'm not going to interact with it, and I'm asking that you respect that. And one of the things is that a lot of people will argue, like, well, you're going to have to get used to it. And like, okay, yeah, exposure therapy is a thing. But if we look at the peanut metaphor, you can actually, like, become less allergic to things. There's this whole process for doing it. It involves being exposed to very tiny amounts of the allergen at a time under supervision. And eventually you can, like, basically, like, calm down the body's response so it doesn't go, like, full allergy. And that's a thing you can do. And you can do the same thing with the person in real life who has a particular trigger. But the key part of the metaphor here was that this is a slow process that happens in small steps under a professional's, like, view. Not under, like, a professional's care. And so our person who is sensitive to the topic of suicide, yeah, they probably will have to eventually build up, like, that resilience and not have, like, a really bad reaction when they hear about it. But that's something that happens slowly with small steps, and often with help from a therapist or a psychiatrist working with them. And I want to say, some people, the things that trigger them might trigger them forever. This might not be something that they ever are able to build up a, like, meaningful tolerance to, and that's not a bad thing. That might not even be their fault, because again, you don't know what they've been through, and you don't need to know. What you need to know is that this person is taking steps to keep themselves safe, physically in the case of peanuts, mentally in the case of a lot of other triggers. This person is taking those steps to keep themselves safe until a later time where they can address the matter. And if they never address the matter and they stay allergic to peanuts and they stay triggered by that for the rest of their lives, and you think they're not making the effort to face that circumstance, that's none of your business. It is none of your business. At the end of the day, that is personal, private, oftentimes medical information. You are not entitled to that. And so just like you would respect someone with a peanut allergy by not shoving peanuts in their face, you should respect someone who has expressed their need for a trigger warning on a particular subject and not shove that in their face. Okay, I hope that made sense. Or at least dollars. Yeah. I think I might want to make, like, more of these metaphor videos. Metaphors to bring up at the family reunion when one of your relatives starts saying some off-the-wall things. Yeah, so hopefully this will be helpful either in your understanding of trigger warnings or in helping someone else understand trigger warnings. Yeah, I don't know. That's the video. Thank you for sitting through this. This channel is kind of gonna be all over the place. It's just about things that I'm thinking about, things that Jin thinks. So that was this video. Bye.